Interviews in Zoho Recruit. Zoho Recruit has three types of interviews capabilities. First is a formal interview, second is login interview, and third is video interviews. Formal interviews are the featured interviews created inside the system, and when the interview is started or when the interview ends, the interview can log into their own systems and evaluate and submit their feedbacks. Login interviews are those interviews if the interviews are not happened within Zoho Recruit and the evaluations needs to be submitted and the feedback needs to be submitted in Zoho Recruit, then the login interview features can be used to submit the feedbacks. And the video interviews has a recorded interview features and a live interview features, which is basically to record the interviews of a candidate, and then the interviewers can evaluate the recordings of the interview and submit the feedbacks. And second is the live interviews, in which the interviews can have a real-time interactions with the candidate, and then they can submit their evaluations after the interviews has happened. So let's see how to create a formal interview first. To create a formal interviews, click on the interviews options at the top menu, then click on the plus icon here, and then click on the formal interviews. Here in the formal interview page, you will have an interview name, which is a mandatory field. You can select the interview name from here. Then you can select the posting titles. So the posting titles can be selected from here. Then you can have a date and time for which the interviews needs to be scheduled. So you can have the date and time to be mentioned here, and then you can have the candidate names to be for whom the interview needs to be scheduled. Interviewers panel name of interviewers name can be selected here, and if you want, you can also select and associate an assessments here inside that. So you can always associate an assessment here, and you can give the reminders for the participants of the interviews, which means the candidates to whom the interviews needs to be scheduled, and also the reminder for the interviews also. So then after filling up the necessary details, you can click on the save to create a formal interviews inside that. So once the interview has been created inside a Zoho Recruit, a formal interviews will look like that. It will be recorded inside the system in this. And once the interview has happened or started, the interviewers can click on this interview created and can submit the evaluation by clicking on this submit evaluation options here, and then they can have answers to a specific questions in the interview assessments along with the star ratings here. So they can submit their star ratings and give their comments here like that. And for each of the specific questions which they have asked, they can submit their comments here like that. So here they have, after giving the comments for the each specific questions, they can submit their overall rating. So this overall rating is an average rating of all the star ratings which is captured in the above questions here, and they can submit their overall uh, recommendations here and overall comments to be submitted. And once the evaluation has been completed, they can submit. Interviewers can click on submit evaluations to submit their final evaluations here. If the interview assessment is not submitted or is not associated with a particular interview, then these questions will not appear here. The interviewer can simply give the star ratings and the overall comments here. In this case, we have associated and interview assessment with this interview, formal interview. So these questions are appearing and the interviewers can give the star ratings and the comments here. So once it is completed, they can submit their ratings, final ratings here also, and click on submit evaluations. When the evaluations have been submitted, it can be seen in this interview sections, and for this particular interview for this particular candidate, it is with that. This interview feedback is also recorded in the candidate's profile also. So let's see how it looks like in the candidate profile. So if you click on the overview sections, when you scroll down in the interview information sections, click on the candidate name here, and once you click on the candidate name, the interview feedback and evaluations can be seen under the ratings and reviews in the related list. So once you click on the ratings and reviews, you can see the overall rating which is submitted by the interviewers has been captured here. And you can see the assessment name. Click on the interview assessment name, and you can see the answers which is submitted by the interviewers can be viewable here. So that is also a way. So in this way, you can track the formal interviews evaluations also, which is submitted by the interviewers, right? Now, the second type of the interview is login interview. So login interview is a feature in Zoho Recruit, which is used and utilized when the interview has not happened within Zoho Recruit, but it's happened outside Zoho Recruit, and you want to submit an evaluations for that interview. So in order to do that, click on the plus, click on the interviews at the top menu, then click on the plus icon here, click on the login interview here, and if you want, you can also choose an assessment here like this. So if the assessment is chosen inside that, then the interview has to submit an star ratings and the evaluation for each specific questions available in the interview assessment. It has been asked to the candidate, and then you have to click proceed. If you do not associate the assessments here, then the interviewer have to only give the overall comments uh, with the star ratings only, and then click on proceed here. Once you click on proceed, you can see you can give the interviewer name, posting title for that is a job opening title. You can give it in this section, and then you can select the candidate name here, and then you have the interview assessment already been associated. Give the date and time, and then you can give your star rating and comments here, and that's followed by the overall rating and the status here. You can also give the overall comments and submit that. So that is how the login interview features can be utilized inside Zoho Recruit. Now, the third interview type, which is there in Zoho Recruit, is a video interview. So in order to create a video interviews, click on the interview at the top menu here, and then click on the plus icon here to create a video interview. Then click on the video interview section here, which consists of the recorded as well as a live interview. So the recorded interviews can be created inside Zoho Recruit for the candidate, which allows the candidate to record their answers for the questions, interviews questions available to them, and they can record. And once they are recorded, they can be evaluated by the interviewer. So in order to create a recorded interviews, you have to give your deadlines here, posting title, candidate name, interviewer's name, assessment name is required here. You can select the assessment name here. You can select the interviewer's name here. You can select the posting title also like this, and the candidate name can also be selected here, and you can have the comments also, and they can schedule the interview. Once the interview has been scheduled, it reaches the candidate name. But it is here in this, while you are creating a recorded interview, which is very important to associate an assessment, because a recorded interview is dependent and based on the assessment, interview assessment, because in the interview assessment you have specific questions which has been asked by the interviewers, and the candidate has to record their answers for those specific questions here. So these is very important to be associated with when you're creating a recorded interview. Deadline is basically an important one, because deadline, when you have a deadline here inside this, so deadline means once the deadline has been over, the candidate will not able to access that interview or record that interview. So once it is the recorded interview has been created, click on schedule, and it will reach the candidate, and they can record their interviews. So once the recorded interview has been created inside Zoho Recruit, you can see it is created like this, and it is added in the interviews section here. So let's click on the recorded interview. Once it is there, you can see the recorded interview has been created inside that. Once you have recorded the created interview in that, So once the candidate has recorded their answers for the specific questions, as an interviewer, you can go to that particular interview section, and you can click on the recorded interviewers, click on the evaluation here, and you can see your that this questions which the recorded interviews which has been recorded by the candidate is available here, and you can review that. We can view the recordings of each of the specific questions which the candidate has recorded, and then click on review answers here. And once you click on review answers, you can listen this, and you can give your overall rating. And that's this you can record this here and give the your comments here like this, and you can have this next questions here. Then you can also record your comments here like this, and then you can submit it like like this, and you can go to the next questions. Similarly, you can click on your submitting your comments, and then you can click on submit, and then give your overall ratings inside that, and submit your overall comments in that. Once it is done, you have the interviewers have submitted their overall comments by listening on the recorded answers of the candidate. It is recorded here inside that. So now uh, let's go to the overview section and see where it is recorded for the candidate. So if you see on the overview section of the recorded interview section here, you can see the candidate name. If you want to check for which candidate it is recorded, you can click on the candidate name here. It will takes you to the candidate module, to that particular candidate profile, and you can see the overall comments submitted by the interviewers under the ratings and reviews under the related list. So click on the ratings and review here. You can see that the same feedback and evaluation submitted by the interviewer is also recorded inside the candidate profile under the ratings and review section here. So you can click on the interview assessment here. You can click on the view answers, and you can check your this related this interview which is submitted inside that. You can see it is submitted as a recorded video interview here. So you can click on this also, and you can see this answers of the recorded in the evaluations here, right? So it is available in the candidates view here, right? It is if you want to check it, it is available in the candidate. So once you go to the interview here, you click on the recorded interview here. Under the evaluations, when you're given the evaluations as an interviewer, you can see all in the overview sections, you can see it is the candidate name. You click on the candidate name here, and under the ratings and reviews, you will find this recorded interviews, which is there inside, in this particular section here. So these ratings and reviews are also available in the interview section, are automatically recorded in the ratings and reviews of the candidate sections. So this is the recorded interviews. Now, if you want to create live and online interviews, then click on the top menu interviews here, click on the create interview here, click on the video interviews, and then click on the live interview. Live interviews are the interviews which is happen on the real time basis, or having the face to face interactions with the candidate. So in order to create that live interview, you have to click on the interview name here, give the interview name, date and time of the interview name, posting title, candidate's name, interviewers, assessment name, and other details also. So here the assessment name is not important, because here you are having a real-time interactions with the candidates, and so that you can have a real-time evaluations done with the candidate, or real-time interview happens with the candidate here. And then once this form has been filled, you can click on schedule to schedule a live interview, online interview with the candidate. So once it is created, a live interview reaches with the recording link to the candidate, and once the candidate you have finished the interviews can submit the their evaluations on that. So you can see that in the video interview which is created, it is available here. You can click on the live video interview here, and once the interview has happened, you can submit the evaluations by clicking on submit evaluation at the top here. You can see that this is a live review. You can see the recorded the interview is also recorded, and you can see the recordings here and click on the review answers here. And then you can have you can give the overall ratings of the answers or overall ratings and comments of the interviews, real-time interview which has happened. And like this, you can give the comments, click on submit. And now this interviews evaluation has been submitted here inside this, and you can see this in the uh, interview sections here. So let me refresh my system and show you where it is. So once the evaluations have been submitted by the interviewers, you can see, and this when you click on the overview section here and scroll down here, you have the candidate name under the interview information. Click on the candidate name here, and which will takes you to the candidate profile here, and you can click on the ratings and reviews where this live video interview feedback has been recorded. So once the interviewer has recorded their evaluations in the interview section here, it is also automatically recorded in the candidate section under the ratings and reviews, and where you can click on this live interviews here, and you can check the evaluations on the recorded interview here beside that. So this is how the interviews can be scheduled in Zoho Recruit, and also they can be tracked in Zoho Recruit. Thanks for watching the video.